Hey, Dan.
Hey, how you doing?
So I'm in another meeting right now.
Yep.
We are live streaming. And
Okay.
so we can turn our cameras back off until about, we let people in. I want to make you a co-host.
Great.
And then I'm going to finish this other meeting and I'll join you.
Awesome. So I'll start the regular.
Oh, I had you on mute. Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you. I said I'll start regular time and we'll wait for you to come back.
Okay, great.
Awesome.
Cheeseburger, chickpeas are in the
Chief, just as a heads up, I don't know if the supervisor told you, but he's currently in another meeting. So I'm probably going to kick off the police commission meeting once we have a quorum of the town board.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And Gavin and Jessica, thanks for joining us as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely, guys.
Hey, Robert.
Hey, how are you? I know we played phone tag today, so I'm glad you're here.
Yes,
I'm
we
glad
did.
you're here and got the link.
Thank you for the invite.
My pleasure. I'm glad you were able to make it.
Hi, all.
Hey, Julie. And I think I see Esty here, and I think I
know.
hear Alex there as well. Okay, so
Yes, Alex is here.
just to inform my fellow colleagues, Neil is wrapping up another call. So we do have a quorum, so I'm going to start the meeting, and we're just going to move forward until he's able to rejoin us. That's fine with everyone. So with that being said, I'm going to make a motion to open the police commission meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Well,
Aye.
thank you. And welcome to the January 20th meeting of the New Paltz Police Commission. So if everyone would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of
America
America and to the republic for which it stands,
nation,
one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty,
with
justice.
liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, guys. And 2 years into the pandemic, doing the pledge on Zoom still feels pretty awkward, but we're making it work. So now I'd just like to have a motion to approve tonight's agenda. So
Second.
I'll move the motion. So second, great. Any discussion or additions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Carried. So first on the agenda, we have an update from our Citizens Advisory Board. I'm not sure if they're on yet, but we can just reshuffle the agenda while we wait for them as well, because I see that we do have our vet to vet participants. So if no one's opposed. Oh, hi, Diana. How you doing?
Good.
Perfect timing. I don't mean to put you on the spot because you just walked in. Are you looking to present on behalf of the committee, or are we waiting for a few others?
I'm just checking out the police commission. I'm not here to represent.
So
at all.
that's fine. So let's actually go to our friends from Vet to Vet who are here to make a presentation as well. So I'm going to turn the meeting on over to you guys, if that works.
Thank you so much, Daniel. And I put up a slide on PowerPoint. Is it okay if I could share it?
It is okay if you can share it. I am just not used to running these meetings, so just give me a second to provide
No
you
problem.
access to do that.
And if you can't do it, I could do it off the top of my head.
Hold on, I'm going to give me one moment here, guys. Spotlight.
I think I did it, Dan.
You
Go
got
ahead
it?
and try it.
Thank you. Can everyone see that?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, so my name is Gavin Walters. I am with the Vet to Vet of Ulster County. Jessica Bugby is also on here with me. She's actually going to speak in the middle of all this as well. So we're under the Hudson Valley National Center for Veteran Reintegration, and the Vet to Vet of Ulster County is just short for the Joseph P. Dwyer Veteran Peer Support Project. And a lot of things goes on with us. And I don't like the death by PowerPoint approach, so I usually always have images so people see what we're doing, because imagery is always great for us. Last year, we partaked in the Hudson Valley National Center for Veteran Integration when we had the roundtable of Congressman Delgado, as well as the United States Secretary of VA. They came to our facility and they did a roundtable to discuss veteran issues. We partner with a lot of organizations in the community. We partner with Green Heron Farm. As you see in the middle, of Veterans Riding a Horse. So everything that we do is free. We do outreach in the community. Some of our peers usually go to the local organizations. Kevin Ankler, who's a Marine veteran, that's an image of him on the left side with some of our fellow, service members in the Coast Guard. And these are just highlights about different things that we've done. Since we're under the center, they have the wooden boat workshop, which allows veterans to come and build kayaks. Maggie is actually building her kayak. This is this is on the right image. Last year was the last one that they were able to do because of COVID, as well as we actually changed locations. And if you see in the top left, that's our new location. We're at Tech City. 100-800 Enterprise Drive, and that's the mail-in address. But if you want to come to us directly, it's 101 Enterprise Drive, which leads you directly to here. And as you see, a boat on the bottom, that was donated by a family from a World War II veteran that passed away. The family donated the boat to us, and it's actually being rebuilt, restored by female veterans. And I list everything that we are actually doing at the center. I'm not going to go through it because it is a lot of stuff, but we try to cater to a lot of the military community as well as anyone in the community. One of the things that we always tell about everybody is that we don't care, if you served or, if you are dishonorable or whatever it is, once you come through these doors, we always consider you family. We always consider you part of this group. We always are in the community to just educate. We're in the community to branch out, to share stories, to share resources. We do a lot of things on social media, so we're always highlighting other organizations. We collaborate with the organization YIT that helps reserves and guards that have preemies. And one of the things that many people don't know is that when a reserve or guard has a preemie, it's kind of difficult for them to stay in service and take care of their child. So this organization actually helps with food for a preemie, help with if the preemie is in the hospital incubator for X amount of months. So we do a lot of things, and this is where Jessica is going to step in. She's also a firefighter. She was a firefighter. She was the Hudson Valley, I think 2016, just, and correct me if I'm wrong, 2016 Hudson Valley Honoree of the Year. So I know Jess will absolutely correct me, but she's an Army veteran, combat medic. One of the things that we always encourage and just tell everybody is that, we're all veterans here, but we were once civilian once upon a time. So we absolutely know, both sides of everything. So I'll let Jess step in because she is going to share a few things.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. Super excited to be on here. Thanks, Gavin. I live now, as of Monday, it's been a week, in Accord. So I love that I can just travel the back road and come up through Mohonk, and here I am in New Paltz. So thank you. So I want to just start off with this quote: anyone can hold the helm when the sea is calm. And that's by Publius Syrus. So, obviously it has something to do with the water, right? Because we were founded with the kayak build. I was thinking today about you guys and how you just, go to work in chaos. And that's, very similar to us, obviously. And unfortunately, you guys have less resources than the military does, which is why it's, so beneficial for, I think, us to just be really great partners. And one of the great things that I get to do is just be with people in fun activities, I think, hiking, yoga. Those are some of the activities that I do with people. Getting them out into nature. Obviously, it's a little cold right now, but we still have groups that go out and do things like that. And we also have support groups like AA. We have an all military AA group. We have a vet talk, which essentially just talks about anything in general, nothing in specific. So it's led by peers. We have writing groups, which has been super great. They've been all veterans. They've also been all women veterans. And then they've been family members and also just supporters, like civilians that work within that group. And what it's opened up is just understanding, from one side to the next, okay, well, why are you having to leave home? And we're in the middle of dinner and now you're being called out for work. Well, I'm on the SWAT team. How do you not understand that? That type of thing. And it's just been phenomenal. The way that communication has improved among spouses, what we've seen, people that are suffering, at home because they've lost a family member or whatnot, and they're actually using each other as a support system. And not calling me in the middle of the night. So those are just some things that we have going on where we've seen incredible changes in people, and we've created a wonderful community. And so we're looking to, help kind of mentor and provide that for you all. We would love to set something up like that with complete anonymity. And so if anyone's interested in doing that, we would love to, help provide that for you all. So those are some of the things that we do. And we just would love to let you all know that, again, like Gavin said, we're veterans, but we were civilians. And, the biggest part for me was that reintegration period. And, suffering with survivor's guilt and feeling like I don't quite, belong was a really hard thing. But understanding that, I wasn't alone was the biggest change in my life. And today that's really like what I measure courage by, is being able to be truthful and honest and know that, it sucks sometimes. But anyhow, I've learned to breathe, I've learned to pause, and all these things are just self-regulation tools that I can do, that I don't have to go out and ask someone or really pay for anything, but I had to learn how to do them. So, these are the things that we like to teach people, is just these skills that we all really possess, but we need somebody to guide us through them. So anyways, thanks a lot. And I hope to see and hear from you guys soon.
Thank you so much, Jess. And just a few more things I would definitely want to show everybody. So when we started the Vet to Vet program, and just to share this, we actually became the 24th and 25th Joseph B. Dwight Peer Project in New York State during a national pandemic. So we actually started operating with no money. We had to wait for the governor to actually release the money. So we were in the community doing what we had to do, because we knew how important it was for veterans, especially during a time where you're telling someone to isolate and be by themselves and not really talk to anybody, but, you can't really interact. So we knew the importance of that. So when we first started, it was just about, sending a message, raising awareness, and doing different things. So we were able to do our welcome mile, which was 56 miles in 22 hours. On the left, you see that was in 2020. And last year we did another one in 2021 where we walked from here, Kingston, New York, all the way to Albany. And that was in 22 hours, 56 miles without sleep. And that represented what the community can do for us and help us along the whole entire route from Ulster County to Greene County to Albany. Law enforcement supported us the whole entire way. We thank them for being there with us at 1:00 in the morning. Last year, the Red Cross was with us. The Girl Scouts was with us the year before. We've had a lot of support with the community, and we always include the community with anything and everything we do, because our success has always been the community. And we work with a lot of organizations, Ulster County Veteran Service Agency, the VA. There's a list that goes on. We are that conduit of resources to the community for a lot of veterans that, sometimes don't want to get connected to the community. We always try to encourage them just to know what's out there. So if you ever share anything with me or share anything with us, it's usually going on our Facebook page to let everybody know, listen, there's things happening in New Paltz, there's things happening in Marlboro, there's things happening in Ulster County. So get connected. Don't feel like you're by yourself. Don't feel like you're alone. We always try to just figure out ways to support everyone. So it's always a we thing. It's never, individual thing. It's a we thing, because we know the community is a big part of the person's success, and, knowing that their self-worth is something to live day by day. And that is, the end, because like I said, I don't like to kill people with PowerPoint. So the information that you see is our information, our numbers. If anybody want to get in contact with us, be it phone, that is our work phone, our cell phones, our email address. There's myself, Jessica, Kevin, Colin. We have volunteers that are civilians. We have volunteers that come from everywhere and anywhere. We have the groups that are hybrid. So we try to do as much as we can with the community. And I'm always going to say the word community, because the community is what really makes, organizations successful, because, from donations, when we didn't have any grant during that period, the donations of the community is what really helped us, go through the process of at least coming in every day to, help a veteran that might be in losing their home, or a veteran that might be in crisis. So we just say thank you so much for everybody that's always supporting us, and thank you so much for allowing us to be here to just share what we're doing. And I'm gonna stop.
I really
sharing.
wanted to just thank you guys as well. I am not a veteran, but I work for Ulster County Executive Pat Ryan, who is a veteran. So I've attended a number of your events with him as well in the past, and certainly am familiar with the work you guys have done, both through the pandemic and obviously as well. You've had some struggles with the state and kind of guaranteeing funding as well, and you guys have pressed forward and not let that keep you down. So I really commend you for that, and I thank you guys for coming today as well. So thank you. And if there's anything we can do at the town level to help connect you with people or be supportive of you, please reach out and let us know, and we're definitely happy to do that.
Yes, absolutely. We'll love to, speak to anyone. We think education is the biggest part, and just us all working together. So even if you have to educate us with anything that we need to learn to, in New Paltz, when we share the message of what's happening in each, town or wherever, we definitely is always listening. So vice versa too. We're always, please let us know if we have to sit on something that we need to know more about, so we can get it out to the community. So please, once again, let us know so how we can help you as well.
All right.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you.
I would want to add thank you for, telling us about this terrific organization doing such important work. And I do hope that we can, somehow help.
Thank you. And I definitely want to let everyone know that we do know Governor Hochul is actually going to expand the Dwyer program, which is in 25 counties, and they're looking to make it in 62 counties and throughout the whole New York state. So we're just that representation of how successful it has been for the past 10 years.
Yeah, thank you guys again. And thank you so much for joining us as well.
Our pleasure.
Thank you, Gavin. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you both for your service and everything that you're doing for your fellow vets. Thank you so much.
Can I ask just a quick question? You covered a whole lot of stuff, and I don't know if I missed one thing. Do you go into the local jails to visit vets there to see what services they may need in terms of while they're in there, if they need lawyer representation, or if they're looking for housing coming out? Anything happening in the correctional facilities?
Well, that's one of the barriers that we did see, that there is no vet court in Ulster County. So we're trying to help facilitate that conversation to actually help create a vet court in Ulster County. Right now, we are unable to go inside the jail, but we do collaborate with Oracle. And so that's Oracle and Mental Health of America, so many, we try to collaborate as much as we can with organizations that are able to be present in those locations, so we can give the word. And we recently did speak to a veteran that did leave Ulster County Jail, and now they're connected with us, and we're helping that conversation and those connections in the community. So whichever way possible, we always try to get connected in some way.
Awesome. Thank you guys again.
Yes, you're very welcome.
I realize as well that in my one time running the meeting that I inadvertently skipped over public comment. So I apologize for that. And I know we do have a number of members of the public on the line. So I just want to give people an opportunity. If someone would like to participate in public comment now, this would definitely be the moment to do that. Going once, twice. Maggie, great. All right. Yep.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for your work, Mr. Walters. And I lost your friend's name. Oh, there she is, Miss Bugby. My brothers and my father were veterans, and I know the kind of support that they got mattered to them. So thank you for that. Certainly, I'm hoping that at some point, maybe when you need some funding, our town can help out with that. I'm sure that with the kind of work you're doing, you set up a proposal. I wouldn't be surprised if you get some funding. But I also wanted to ask, as in terms of public comment, I noticed that part of the agenda includes a recommendation from the MPPRRC for advancing or continue to develop a chaplaincy program. I'm hoping that that will be described a little bit in greater detail, what has happened and where is it going. I think that people certainly do need an opportunity to be able to talk to someone when they have a need to process some concerns that they have. Certainly mental health concerns of police officers has to be a significant concern of ours. So actually, I remember very early on meeting when they started having the community conversations. I met with one of the police officers, and one of the things I asked her, what does she do about mental health assistance? Because I thought that was something important. So I support the idea that police officers provide an opportunity to get mental health services. But I do need to also state that, the idea that I'm not sure how integrated this is, nor do I understand, and maybe that'll be part of the presentation. Do I understand if there's any of our resources going into this? But just as I'm hoping that there'll be other avenues for 24-hour support that will be shared with the police officers, that is not chaplaincy programs. I'm concerned about the separation between church and state, and I really feel that we've got to be careful with that. So I'm not sure if there's funding coming for this or not, but I certainly want to express a need for being careful with that. Certainly the rise in the tremendous amount that the role of religion has in our body politics is scary to me. So I just wanted to make that comment and hope that that'll be considered. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment, Maggie. Anybody else like to make a comment? Going once, twice. Tom, you guys are getting right under the wire. Well done, everyone.
Hold on a sec. Yeah, just a real quick question. Confused by what the agenda item number 1 is, Citizens Advisory Board. I wasn't aware that there is one. So if somebody can explain that, thank you.
Thank you. When we get to that item, we will definitely discuss that. Anyone else have a public comment? All right, so with that being said, I'm going to hop into the meeting. So the supervisor is running late to the meeting, so I apologize. We talked right before the meeting started. My assumption of this was potentially an update on where we were in the recruitment process for the Citizens Police Commission. I'm not sure if we have anyone here to provide that update, so I may be mistaken, or we might have just had a little miscommunication on our part on that, but that was my understanding of the intent. But seeing that we don't have anyone here for that, I'm prepared to just move on to our monthly reports. And we can wait for maybe the supervisor to come to potentially provide additional clarity on that. So with that being said, I'm happy to turn the meeting over to you, Chief.
Thank you very much, Dan.
Oh, and just very quickly, by the way, to our friends at Vet to Vet, you guys are free to stay if you want, but by no means do you have any obligation to hang out for our meeting. So I just didn't want you to think you had to do that. It's totally fine if you have to go as well. You're welcome to stay too,
So
though.
thank you. Before I get into the report, one of the things I just wanted to give a shout out and a thanks to Woodland Pond for providing us some test kits, COVID test kits for our members. We did receive an allotment from the county as well, but prior to that, there was a need and has been a need, and we were searching, and Woodland Pond was able to procure us test kits for members, and that has been very helpful for us. And so I just wanted to thank Michelle Gamaya and her staff for providing them for us. In terms of the monthly report, We have, I think, 4 letters of commendation. The first one is for officers Halstead and White, who had responded to just a thank you for their assistance in responding to a lockout of a vehicle back in October. We just received this form, a complimentary form. Just wanted to thank them for being helpful and comforting and calming the individual during their time of need. And they were able to retrieve keys and get them going relatively quickly, and just wanted to thank them for their assistance with that. The second commendation that we have is for officers Kraus and White. This was from a resident who wanted to thank them for helping resolve an incident at their home in December. Just that the person said they'd been extremely distraught by the situation that required the police response, and was, comforted and grateful for their service and what they were able to do to provide for them. The next commendation is for Detective Sergeant Matt Sutton. Just a thank you for his assistance with the local residents and helping them during a tragic time in their life, and just his compassion, his understanding, and just grateful for his presence and being there. And then the last was really just a department-wide note of appreciation that was provided from a local resident, just thanking us, thanking the department as a whole. I don't know if there's any questions regarding any of those. So we had 2 incidents of requiring officer defensive action. The first occurred back on December 7th, about 5:30 in the evening. It involved a 21-year-old black male, approximately 6 feet tall, 175 pounds, medium build. There's 3 reports. It's involving the same individual. So each officer that was involved in this case filed the report. The officers had responded to residents to check on an adult family member at the request of other family members after a violent domestic that had just occurred. When the officers responded to the location, they encountered the individual who initially was unresponsive, and then they learned that this individual had attacked a grandparent earlier with a knife. They went to take this individual into custody. It's a mandatory arrest situation for a domestic situation. And the individual physically resisted. The officers physically directed the individual to the ground, where they were eventually secured and handcuffed without further incident. The individual was ultimately transported back to the station, and then remanded for a mental health evaluation. And there were charges filed in this case just because it's a mandatory domestic situation. And we are working with the DA's office just in terms of trying to follow up with the mental health aspect of this. I don't know if there's any questions related to this. In reviewing in the findings in this particular case, the defensive action from the officers involved was within consistent with department policy and our training. There were a couple of issues body camera wise. One of the body cameras was knocked to the ground during the physical struggle, but still maintained recording. Another was briefly turned off. There's a button on the center of the body cameras during the struggle. It was hit. The officer realized it pretty quickly and was able to turn it back on. Another officer, part of their video was obstructed just from their outer garment, but it did record the incident. one of the things that we took to note is really just trying to reinforce with the officers, especially with the outer garments, make sure that they're attached to the outermost garment. Wanting to make sure that we don't have any issues with that. As far as the other, 2 issues with that, we've had those in the past where they have been knocked down and or inadvertently turned off because of the struggle. I don't know if there's any questions regarding the use of force on that particular case.
I have a question
Yeah.
regarding the way the incident was reported. I see that one member narrative says it came in as a past domestic and another came in as psychiatric emergency. So I'm just wondering, was it more than one call that was made, or how that report was actually made, how it was categorized?
A combination of both. I mean, this was a past domestic, but there were psychiatric or mental health, a mental health aspect to it. This was a past incident that had occurred. What we learned about this was that the individual had, as I said, threatened one family member with a knife and had physically assaulted another as well. And that's, the reason for some of the additional charges with that. Any other questions with that one? Okay. So the next case occurred on December 12th, involving defensive action occurred on December 12th. The subject in question was a 28-year-old white male, 5'11", 160 pounds. The officers in this particular case were responding to a reported past assault that had just occurred. This report indicated that the suspect had displayed a gun. It was a road rage incident where a suspect had allegedly displayed a firearm. The calling party was following the vehicle in question. Officers were able to locate that vehicle and conducted a felony traffic stop. In this case, both officers deployed their firearm. The individual was verbally directed out of the vehicle down into a prone position where they were eventually handcuffed. The officers checked the vehicle. There was no firearm in question. And speaking with the individual who they took out, confirmed that this was a road rage incident, but denied that there was any display of a weapon. And they are still actually following up on this case, just in regards to the initial call for service and the veracity of the initial report and what, if anything, we can be doing with that. In this case, as I said, there's 2 defensive action reports, both for the use of the firearm. And based upon the investigation with all of this case, the actions of both officers were consistent with department policy and training, given the circumstances of the case. I don't know if there's any questions about that one. Okay. So then the only other thing I wanted to just point out in terms of the monthly report is under the training report itself. You'll see that there was definitely quite a bit of training for some of our newer people this month. Officers Vespi, White, Claude, Snyder, Marsh, and Town completed most of the certifications that they need. So there's radar LiDAR certification. There is conductive energy device certification. And actually that same group just completed their breath analysis operator course a couple weeks ago. And the only other thing, just to give a big shout out to Amanda Snyder, she graduated from the academy, attended the academy graduation on December 22nd. She actually earned top academic award for the academy class and also earned the George Krupka scholarship for this year. So both her and Officer Miller have begun their field training and are doing well. So we look forward to having them out on their own in a couple months as they complete the field training program. I don't know if there's any other questions relative to the monthly report. Okay, that's all I have for that.
All right, thanks. Well, I'm here. Sorry to be late. Do you want to go into the item number 4, the recommendation of the PRRC?
So Neil, the one thing I just do want to bring up quickly is item number 1. I may have had a misunderstanding of what this was. What were we intending for that item to be?
I thought we were going to get an update for, where we are with the review of the applicants.
Okay, that's.
But, because we want to move forward on that.
Yep.
But I'll check and make sure that, what exactly the intent was and if we sent the emails out.
Okay, great.
So the first recommendation to review tonight by the Reform Reinvention Committee is that as a means of caring for officers of the MPPD, every officer should receive at minimum 1 hour per month of counseling in the aftermath of a traumatic event or use of force. This support should move from monthly to weekly at the recommendation of a mental health professional. We realize that many officers may choose to endure rather than avail themselves of these services. However, we are optimistic that they will realize the concern that undergirds it, and in time, the practice will be normalized and embraced. So I think this is I think it's a great recommendation. One I wholeheartedly agree with in terms of care for officers. I don't, there are some issues, or there are some obstacles we would need to work around in terms of, mandating the training for the officers and how we would do that. And those are things I'm going to need to be working on in the coming months. It's certainly something I would have to work in conjunction with the PBA and see how best we can implement such a program. What I will say though is that we do have a policy relative to employees assistance program, and there are certain circumstances already that we will mandate our members to attend EAP counseling session. So if our officers are involved in a critical incident, not necessarily just the use of force incident or an officer involved shooting incident, but we had a couple weeks ago where we attended to the death of a young child locally here. We will send our officers to EAP. We mandate the initial visits. There's 3 visits, and then depending upon what their needs are, we would continue with that if necessary, or if that's what the member wanted to do. Our EAP policy also provides them with resource and contact information should they need that resource and not want to come forward to myself or the lieutenant, but just to take it upon themselves for them or their family member. It is a service that's provided. I think this recommendation speaks to the issue that you have in this profession where no one wants to get help and no one wants to admit that they're hurting. And so, that has it can have a negative self-fulfilling prophecy in the sense that if you're walking around and you're hurting and you're not able to do your job, or it impacts the way you handle yourself. For me, it's trying to figure out how best to implement such a program and what we can do to do that. I don't know if anybody has any questions or anything you want to mention about that.
Go ahead, Julie.
How can you explain how this recommendation would be different from what we're doing already?
So right now it's a triggering when you have a certain situation, we're requiring them to attend to this. Barring that, I don't know what we can or can't do. So, there are certainly aspects of this I would need to, that I have to review with the town's labor attorney. I would review with the union's attorney, but ultimately we also want to get people invested in this. We want to onboard. We want them to be vested in doing this, not because we're making somebody do it, but because it helps and it helps them. And, I'm not going to throw stones at glass houses because, I know what it's like to not want to, stop what you're doing and just keep on plugging along, and so I think that in itself is a huge obstacle. But I do think there is value in this, tremendous value in this recommendation and looking out for the health and well-being of our people. And I think it shows a great investment in them. And, I want to try to do what we can with, willing participants and not forcing, so that it becomes a really worthwhile program.
Rob, I agree with you that, sometimes people may not want to express their vulnerability or feel like it's going to put a stigma on them. But I think that's all the more reason why it's important that if we can mandate it, that we do mandate it. So then they don't feel like, I can't do this, or that they don't want to come forward, but it's something that we have to do. And I think it's an excellent way for us to keep an eye on whether or not our people are okay or not, right? Because if they're walking around hurting inside quietly, then they're going to be hurting our community, and we don't want that. So I definitely think it's really important that you look into how much and how often we can mandate it.
Absolutely.
I agree. I think it's a good idea. I mean, there may be times, there may be people who don't need it, but that's not what this is for. This is for the people who do need it, who may not even know they need it. And so if someone goes to, EAP more than they need to, it's not the end of the world. But if someone goes enough, that's what's important. And I think it's up to us to, if we can figure out a way to do it, it makes it easier for the people who need it and maybe don't even know they need it to go. So I think this is a good recommendation, and I'm in favor of trying to make it work. And if we have no other comments, we can go on to number 5.
Okay, so the recommendation of the NPRRC was to continue efforts already underway to develop an emergency services chaplaincy program. The committee recommends that these efforts continue, as this would afford ongoing and consistent emotional support and care available at all times for officers. The thing I would add is, officers and civilians. So this was, give a little context to all of this. This is something that I had been working on with Limina Grace Harmon, as well as some other members of various congregations and denominations in New Paltz. And the idea of this is to really just provide some outlet, some sort of, counsel. I don't know if counseling is the right word, but just a program that can be there to afford support for emotional support in the immediacy of an event, not just to the officers who may handle that event, but for even civilians who are impacted by what takes place. The one that comes to mind to me was the accident on Main Street back in 2020, where an individual was dragged underneath a tractor trailer down the length of Main Street. I was actually in a Reform Reinvention Committee meeting when that incident occurred, and I was extremely grateful that Limina Grace Harmon and Reverend Moore had took it upon themselves to actually come to the station afterwards, and also to be available should anybody need it out there. And I know that what happened there didn't just impact the officers, but it impacted people. So that's the idea of it. I know that the concern was, I mentioned earlier about, any funding for this or the concern of church and state. This is a program that, and I've spoken, as I said, to a number of religious leaders here in the community and in the area. And it's a volunteer program where they would be volunteering their services to us and to the community should they be needed. And it's not to replace mental health professionals. It's not to replace long-term counseling. It's to help in the immediacy and just to be an initial support mechanism in place. We've talked about what that would look like. I played around with a policy internally to see how that would be. But this was something that we had been working on actually, I think prior to the reform and reinvention, and that's what we picked up on this. So I don't know if anybody else has any questions regarding that.
It's Alex. I just wanted to say, I find this interesting because I know that Essie had said something about, and you as well, about the difficulty of receiving mental health help, that sometimes there can be, sort of a pause or a hesitancy to do so. And a lot of times somebody within your faith you find more comfortable. It's a space that a lot of people grew up with, so they find it easier to sit down and be comfortable and not feel that there's any pressure for them to express their emotions, because for a lot of people, it's something that comes from your childhood, something that you grew up with. So I really like the idea of that. Like you said, not to replace the mental health professionals, but it could be a segue. It might be something where somebody within the faith can say, you're hurting. Look into it more, and it's okay for you to do so. So I very much support that program. I think that it could be a way to get a lot more people to be more comfortable with mental health through their spirituality.
I agree with that, Alex. Thank you for bringing that point up. And I think one way that might be useful to implement it, and also keeping in mind what Maggie said about not forcing religion, but letting it be a option, right? Another option and another way that we support our officers and make sure that they are doing okay, is just maybe to have a regular time, like Mondays at noon for Pastor Grace to be there, and Wednesday at noon for a different chaplain to be there, and Friday for another one, just so they could say, this person is going to be in this office for 30 minutes or an hour, whatever it is, every week. And, someone you can talk to, maybe that person can just be around sometimes, if possible, to be a listening ear. Obviously that might be utopian, but I'm just putting out ideas.
No, Essie, I mean, that's spot on. That's what we initially, we talked about that. The idea that having them just, hey, stop by the station, say hello, you want to ride around in the car, if as long as the officers come, you ride around in the car with an officer for, 15, 20, whatever minutes, or, however long you want. And, where an officer may be more apt to open up, if it, in a one-on-one situation rather than in front of everybody, but just getting everybody comfortable and building those relationships so that when something does happen, there is that they know each other there, and there's maybe less hesitancy to open up, or less hesitancy to take that advice or accept that support.
I'm really excited by this, Chief. And I know we've talked about it for a while too. I think it just also recognizes, as you provide an example, and we've talked about other examples, which we don't need to go into here as well, but there are realities with this job, and providing these kind of things for our officers, I think, are critical. It's not something that everyday people realize or see, but I'm really happy that these are things that we're thinking about and working on. So thank you guys for that.
I just had another idea, just since it came to me, but also maybe starting, I don't know, trainings or whatever meetings where everyone is having someone pray over the whole unit. And they just get used to seeing those people around.
I don't know if there's any other questions, but those are the two recommendations for tonight.
No, I mean, once again, great idea. I think that the easier you make it for people to make those connections and have conversations, the more likely they are to happen. And I think it'll be a lot of work on the part of the people who are volunteering, and hopefully it pays off. But it's worth a try. You know, it's like you got to open doors to get people to walk through them. So with that, if no one else has any other comments, we have to go into executive session. And so I'm going to make a motion to go into executive session. I'm going to try the breakout room again. So someone invite me into the breakout room for help when you get in there. And then I can join as the host. And so I will open the breakout room. And so it's an executive session to discuss matters of personnel and to have the chief join us. And so let's see, 1, 2, 3. I got Alex, Dan, Julie.
So for the minutes, I'll
See.
second the motion to go into executive session.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Have you guys invited me in? I'm here. I think I'm in the room with you guys.
No, I see everyone from the public still here as well.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Just inviting you.
Um, All right, I'd like to make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
No action is being taken at this time. And
All in favor, aye.
aye, thank you.
Aye.
Just
Appreciate
it.
Trying to like run the video and so that's all I have for, that's all we have for the Town Board of Police Commission meeting. So I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I would like to make a motion to open the Town Board meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Right. And please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
Allegiance
to
to
the
the
flag
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. I have no announcements. If anyone else has any announcements. If not, I'd
I
like
just
to-
had a super quick one that I meant to mention with the chief on the line as well. And I just want to thank the New Paltz Police Department for assisting us in our COVID kit pickup events that we've done the last few days. We've also picked days that the one day we were out there, I think it was literally 5 or 6 degrees. And I really appreciate that they they joined us and they were willing to participate with that, specifically on weekends as well. So I just wanted to say that.
Yes, thank you.
yes. And I'd like to open the floor for public input. If people have comments, please raise your hand. Try to keep your comment to 3 minutes. And if anyone has any comments, you can raise your Zoom hand. If not, it's 7:30, and so we're running right on time, which is a little late. So we'll start. We have some people here to interview for the planning board, and I would like to start off by interviewing. I think Kitty is. I see Kitty here. So Kitty, do you want to say a few words about your interest in the planning board? And I will make sure that you can unmute yourself. And you want to address the board, we can ask you some questions. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I can't start the video.
Let me see if I can. Sure, I can make you a co-host for this if that helps. See if you can see if you can do it now. You should be able to. I don't. Oh, here we go. Let me. Now you should be able to start your video.
Okay, let's see if that works. Oh, there we are. Okay. Yeah, thanks. I do have just a few words to say. Thank you for this opportunity to apply to be a full member of the planning board. And thank you also for unanimously approving my appointment as an alternate last August. I just want to update you in terms of the required annual training. Last week, I attended a training on the Green Amendment added to our state constitution, strengthening existing environmental laws that did not sufficiently protect disadvantaged communities. Last year, I took Introduction to Seeker, Planning Board Overview, Natural Resource Inventory Training, Rockland County Case Law, which detailed 29 cases involving planning board decisions that were either upheld or dismissed, and planning board ethics. And I want to assure you that I take the instruction in this training, as well as in our town code of ethics, to serve and benefit the public very seriously. Equally important is the instruction to hear all matters in an open-minded fashion. I assure you that I will bring the same required open mind to the planning board as I did when I served on the town board. I bring 40 years of civic engagement. I co-founded the Walker Valley Land Trust, helped negotiate the purchase and conversion of the Walker Valley Rail Trail, and was elected to 3 terms as a New Paltz Town Board member. Last year, I helped present Listening to Black Farmers, a forum featuring the video, Why Are All the Black Farmers Vanishing?, and met 3 inspiring and accomplished young Black farmers. Allison Espinoza of the Black Farmer Fund, Riston Mays of Philly's Ridge Farm, and Shaniqua Bowden of the Kingston Land Trust. We had over 400 people register for the forum and learned about ways to help keep small farms equitable and viable. I serve on the UACT Affordable Housing Committee and the Mohawk Consultations Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. I also helped organize an award ceremony for the Center for Creative Education in Kingston. This outstanding organization uses the arts to teach basic life skills with a special emphasis on serving low-income, minority, and at-risk children and youth. I knew the organization did wonderful work, but learned that not only does the CCE fill an urgent social need, the building it's in, Energy Square, is a model of visionary planning, including apartments for people of mixed incomes, commercial space, and apartments set aside for young adults who were homeless or at risk of homelessness. That is the kind of visionary planning that you passed when you passed the Main Street mixed-use zoning in our new Gateway district. It would be a very great honor to be part of our town planning board and help bring the kind of commercial, equitable, and environmentally responsible projects our town needs and deserves to fruition. Thank you for your consideration. Any questions?
Thanks, Kitty.
Anyone have any questions?
I think we all know Kitty pretty well.
Yes, thank you, Kitty.
Glad to be here.
Okay.
Kitty, did you say 40 years of civic engagement?
Yeah, well, I started working at Child Find, an organization that helped locate missing children in 1980. And we were founded, right, in fact, our first office was in Village Hall.
It's pretty amazing. And you clearly keep it current with, you know, the avenues that you've pursued from UACT and affordable housing and other, you know,
Well,
it's pretty
you know,
amazing.
it's a wonderful community in our Hudson Valley. There's a lot going on, and it's very, very rewarding to be part of it.
Okay, well, thanks for applying, and thanks for coming tonight. Well, you know, Amy Cohen, if you have anything you'd like to say, I would be more.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yes.
Well, I can just very quickly read the letter that I submitted. It kind of sums it up.
Yeah, please.
Dear Supervisor Betez and Town of New Paltz Town Board, I'm writing to you today to express my willingness to continue my volunteer position as a New Paltz Town Planning Board member. After serving a full 7-year term, I would be honored to be reappointed to another full term. I believe my service, participation, and historical knowledge of our town, as well as a clear understanding of our local governments and code, make me an ideal candidate for your consideration. I'm up to date on the many complex projects which are before our board at this pivotal time. I respect all of our board members and appreciate the cohesiveness of our discussions as well as the varied skills and experiences which each of us are able to contribute. I've always been true to town ethics and as a board member and have never advocated for or against any of our projects publicly. I have maintained neutrality and I've maintained neutrality and I'm traveling today and I don't have it printed out. I have it on my phone. I have maintained neutrality, which is essential for fairness concerning all of our applicants. I have a long record of public service in our town and the energy and interests to continue. Thank you for your consideration.
All right. Anyone have any questions? And so the third person who contacted us and who said they're interested, they said they were going to make it tonight, but they couldn't make it. And so I think in fairness to them, I would like to give them another opportunity to attend the next meeting to see if we can interview them before we vote. I hope the board's okay with that.
I don't mind meeting just one additional meeting, but that I do think we need to appoint someone.
Yeah, I agree. You know, and also, you know, we did put an ad in the paper. It's only been in the paper a day. So if it was in, you know, the New Paltz Times, I think it might have been in this week. So I'm not sure about that, but it hasn't been in there long. So I don't see a huge problem with waiting if everyone's okay with that. And
I'm okay with that.
With that, I'd like to make a motion to approve and authorize items 2A through 2E on the consent agenda.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you,
Kitty.
for coming tonight. I really appreciate it. So I'll second your motion, Neil.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, and so that, I'd like to make a motion to authorize payment of the January warrant in the amount of $1,366,291.18.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So let's see, the number 4 is, I sent an email around, kind of just give some background. This is the Empire State Trail Pollinator Project. You know, we had some volunteers that we worked with a few years ago when the Empire State Trail went in up along 299 between the mobile station and the North Ohioville. The highway department actually helped out and volunteers. You know, we did a bunch of clearing and some planting of wildflowers. The idea behind that is it actually reduces long-term costs, so we don't have to mow and it doesn't look bad with all the weeds and everything else. And we actually get some pollinators planted there. Unfortunately, a bunch of mugwort has come in. It's kind of taken over. It's an invasive species. Not enough people are using it to, what do you make, tea or something out of it? But either way, the volunteers have contacted us again. They would like to do some more work on that and donate more of their labor, maybe bring in some volunteers. This eventually, you know, we may need to budget some money towards that, but the first step is really to fill out the paperwork with the DOT. Anytime, you know, this is unlike the rest of our trails, we need to file official paperwork with the DOT. Basically, it's the paperwork, you know, when someone adopts a highway, it's so that the insurance is all taken care of and liability and things like that. And so this motion is really just for me to move forward and to authorize me to sign that paperwork with the DOT and with this volunteer group to get the process started.
I'll second that motion, and I think it's great.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
I
Aye.
I think it's a great project, Neil.
Yeah, I mean, you can, thank you. It is, and you could see before the mugwort really came in and took over, the flowers that we planted out there were kind of really coming along. But I'm optimistic we're going to do this. So now I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session for the town board to discuss matters of personnel. I'll create the breakout room again, and maybe we'll get better at it this time. And so,
Second,
thank you. All in favor?
I.
Aye.
All right, I need to I'd like to make a motion to come out of executive session. No
Second.
action. Oh,
Oop,
second, no
sorry.
action is being taken. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And that is all I have for the meeting. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi,
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
good night.
Have a nice
Night.
evening.